Good afternoon, investor and corporate. Welcome to SET Digital Roadshow Year-End 2023 Performance Review. This session will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. During Q&A, investor may leave your question in meeting room chat box or use raise your hand function. We will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. May I now invite PTG Energy Public Company Limited to start the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to SET Digital Roadshow. Sitting next to me is Khun Parameet Sangwan-Chrolwanit.
สวัสดีครับ Good afternoon, everyone.
Vice President, and sitting in front of me, Khun Pichaya Kongsirishuang.
สวัสดีค่ะ
For today's agenda, I will start with key highlights of last year. For key highlights last year, we have every dimension. In the first, on the left, oil business has created a new growth sales volume, which grew 12.1% year-on-year to 5,906, which is the record-breaking sales volume through all channels. Outpaced the market growth, which grew only 2.2. On the second part is the LPG. $34 million liters, an increase of 27.7%. LPG sales volume also grew to touch points. On the bottom left-hand side, our Pantai coffee business also increased at 882 branches. Is our we also our digital asset business that our MaxBit digital our associates company also currently received a license from the Ministry of Finance in order to operate the digital asset brokerage businesses, both cryptocurrency. Waste to energy, the of 10% in Thai plywood equipment, which I will elaborate more in. On the fifth part is apart from the significant growth of business and also progressing in coffee, Pantai coffee branch, and bringing value to customers, for example, Enterprise Connect platform, which is a solution platform for managing fuel costs and fleet. Sustainable development. We also continue our sustainable development project related to social dimension. For example, the Creating Shared Value project, where we promoting the local beverages inside our Pantai coffee, or we have the our elderlies. This is, for example, the ESG related business that we also looking for. For example, we already have the EV charging stations that we collaborated with EGAT, and we have expanded up to 49 EV charging stations across nations. The business update post reporting period. The first one is the company has invested a newly issued share of 33.33% in Paisan Capital Company Limited, which amounted to 825 million baht, and the source of fund is the company's working capital. Paisan Capital is a financial services company, provides second-hand truck leasing, revolving business credit, and refinancing loan through its 9 branches. As you can see in the map, across nation except south part of Thailand. Following this capital increase, Paisan Capital aims to expand its customer portfolio, which currently has more than 2 to 3 billion baht. And the investment rationale, the main objective of this investment is to create business opportunities together between PTG and Paisan, and also expand the PTG business ecosystem to offer a wider variety of service to customers and advance future business prospect by analyzing and utilizing the customer service data from both sides to support product and service offerings with a shared customer group, such as truck drivers. PTG and Paisan Capital anticipate a more comprehensive approach to meeting customer needs in line with the PTG vision of providing a customer with a better quality of life. Moving to the next part is another company that we have invested a newly issued share of 10% from Thai Paiboon Equipment Company Limited. In this one, we still have a right to purchase additional common shares of Thai Paiboon Equipment to hold up to 33.33% of the total shares newly issued from Thai Paiboon Equipment, with an estimated total investment value of not over 400 million baht. The source of fund is also company's working capital, and Thai Paiboon Equipment is engaged in the waste management business. For example, producing the refuse-derived fuel, RDF, with over 20 years of experience. And currently, it handles more than 20 contracts with accumulated waste of over 7 million tons. The rationale of this investment is due to the growing waste management industry with the potential for future profitability, which is one of the key pillars of the non-oil business, particularly in this renewable energy that we are targeting to in the future. And this business also aligned with the company's vision in order to create a well-being and contentedness of the people in the community through a proper waste management, resulting in communities and the environment having a sustainable and happy existence. Furthermore, it serves as a pathway for future growth in other business, for example, the recycling waste management and carbon credits. And the last one, due to the board of directors meeting held back on February 22nd, has resolved to propose a dividend payment for the fiscal year of 2023 at the rate of 0.35 baht per share, for a total common share of 1,617 million shares, in a total dividend payment of 584.5 million baht with a payout ratio of 104%. However, this dividend payment is subject to the AGM meeting, which will be held on April 26th of 2024. The dividend payment shall be made on May 16th, 2024. Let's moving on to the second agenda, the financial performance of the fourth quarter of 2023, and also the fiscal year of 2023. Revenue from sales and services in fourth quarter of 2023 was equivalent to 49,525 million baht, an increase of 1.1% year-on-year and 4.2% Q-on-Q, which mainly as a result of the non-oil business. The non-oil business revenue grew continuously by 27.6% year-on-year and 9.3% Q-on-Q to 3,762 million baht. However, another growth is from oil business as well, which grew from previous quarter by 3.8% and slightly declined from same quarter last year by 0.6% year-on-year to 45,763 million baht. The increase was from the oil sales volume, which grew 9.9% year-on-year and 10% Q-on-Q, but partly offset by the average oil retail price of 29.5 baht per liter, which decreased by 9.6% year-on-year and 5.8% Q-on-Q as a result of the retail station price adjustment during the quarter. If you look on the pie chart on the right-hand side, you can see that oil business still contributed the largest contribution of 92.4%, followed by non-oil business of 7.6%. The revenue in whole year of in the fiscal year of 2023 stood at 198,811 million baht, which increased by 10.8% year-on-year, resulting from the oil business, which stood at 185,123 million baht, and an increase of 8.9% year-on-year. And the contribution of the whole year in terms of the oil business still was contributed at 93.1% of total revenue. In terms of the gross profit of fourth quarter of 2023 stood at 3,618 million baht, an increase of 25.7% year-on-year and 18.6% Q-on-Q. The change was due to the gross profit from oil business, which increased by 28.6% year-on-year and 22% Q-on-Q. The growth from last year was largely due to a higher sales volume compared to last year and previous quarter, along with the increase in gross profit per liter. And for non-oil business, also grew by 18.6% year-on-year and 6.9% Q-on-Q. And if you look on the pie chart on the right-hand side, you can see that the gross profit proportion from non-oil business stood at 20.8%, which can be divided into LPG business of 9.6%, Pan-Thai business of 5.1%, and other business of 6.1%. In terms of the gross profit in fiscal year 2023 stood at 12,922 million baht, an increase of 7.6% year-on-year. The change was due to the non-oil business, which grew by 23.4% year-on-year to 2,742 million baht. In the whole year of 2023, you can see that the non-oil business contribution was stood at 21.2%. Along with the EBITDA and net profit in the fourth quarter of 2023 was recorded at 1,727 million baht, which increased by 48% year-on-year and 42.4% Q-on-Q. The growth from EBITDA was resulted from an increase in gross profit in oil and non-oil business with more efficiently in SG&A management. However, the company still recognized a share of loss amounting to 14 million baht from investment in associates and joint ventures due to high competition in the biodiesel industry and the volatility in CPO prices in the market during fourth quarter. Therefore, the net profit in the fourth quarter was recorded at 542 million baht, an increase of more than 500 million baht, both year compared to same period last year and the previous quarter. In terms of the fiscal year of 2023, the EBITDA was recorded at 5,694 million baht and increased by 1.3% year-on-year. The slight increase was from the rise in non-oil gross profit, along with the significant growth in oil sales volume. However, this was partially offset by the lower average oil gross profit per liter, resulted from the misalignment of oil fund management and fluctuation of ex-refinery prices during the certain period in second quarter of last year. Additionally, the new government policy of reducing the retail diesel price by 2 baht per liter in the third quarter of last year also contributed to the offset. However, the company also recognized the share of profit investment in associates and joint ventures at 33 million baht, which increased from loss of 177 million baht in 2022. Due to the efficiency of stock management amidst the volatility of the crude palm oil prices in the market in last year. As a result, the net profit was recorded at 966 million baht, an increase of 1.3% on year. To the oil business overview. Starting with the Thailand oil consumption, you can see that in the fourth quarter of 2023, the overall oil consumption in the country grew by 1.2% year-on-year and 6% Q-on-Q to 9,017 million liters. If you look by specific product, you can see that the diesel consumption was increased by 1.1% year-on-year and 8.6% Q-on-Q, while gasoline consumption increased by 1.4% year-on-year and 0.9% Q-on-Q. For fiscal year 2023, you can see that the country's oil consumptions grew only 0.2% year-on-year. This was driven by the gasoline consumption, which grew by 4% year-on-year, but offset by the decrease in diesel consumption by 1.5% year-on-year. On the right-hand side, the retail consumption, you can see that the growth in fourth quarter was pick up from the previous quarter by 5.6% Q-on-Q. As a result, that the mainly fourth quarter we faced with the agricultural activities after monsoon season, along with during the fourth quarter was a festive season, and there is a high seasonal demand in this quarter. If you look in the whole year, you can see that the retail consumption was stood at 28,805 million liters, which grew by 2.2% year-on-year. In terms of the company's sales volume in fourth quarter, as I mentioned earlier, that we have a new record breaking of sales volume of 1,547 million liters, an increase of 10% year-on-year and 10% Q-on-Q and 9.9% year-on-year. This growth was mainly driven by the retail sales through PT service stations, which reached at 1.5 million liters, went up by 10.3% year-on-year and 10.3% Q-on-Q. The increase was supported by the economic activities during the holiday seasons and festivals. Additionally, some benefit also observed from the visa exemption measures, and also in the fourth quarter typically sees a resurgence in agricultural activities post-monsoon seasons. Additionally, another growth engine still derived from the increased usage of both PT Max Card and PT Max Card Plus member. And if you look in terms of the whole year, you can see that 2023, we have received new growth of 12.1% year-on-year to 5,960 million liters, which significant growth was derived from the retail sales of 13.3% year-on-year to 5,802 million liters. With this growth, you can see that in fourth quarter of last year, we have achieved a newest record breaking in terms of the retail oil market share of 20.1%. And this is the first time of the company history that we had hit this amount. And moving to the number of oil stations, you can see that in the end of December 31st, our number of oil stations was at 2,201, and which can be divided into oil cocoa at 1,841 station, increased by 32 stations, and oil dodo, which stood at 360 stations, grew by 30 stations. If you look by segment by the region, you can see that the northeast, the north part, and south part still contributed largest proportion of 31%, 21%, and 12% respectively. And next is the non-oil business overview. Khun Pichaya will walk you through on this part.
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. Let's start with non-oil overview. Okay, on the top left-hand side, you will see the non-oil touch point at fourth quarter of 2023. You will see the number of non-oil touch point of 2,087 touch point, which increased by 561 touch point, or increasing by 36.8% year over year and 10.3% Q over Q. And in terms of non-oil revenue, in fourth quarter of 2023, you will see the revenue that stood at 3,762 million baht, increasing by 27.6% year over year and 9.3% Q over Q. And for the fiscal year period on 2023, we have revenue of non-oil at 13.7 billion baht, increasing 44.4% year over year. The increase from the main non-oil business such as the LPG business, convenience store business of Max Mart, and the Thai coffee shop business. And in terms of the gross profit margin of the fourth quarter of 2023, you will see that we have like 753 million baht, increasing by 15.6% year over year and 6.9% Q over Q, with the gross profit contribution at 20.8%. On the stack bar chart on the bottom right hand side, you will see a decrease in gross profit contribution in the fourth quarter of 2023. This due to the increasing amount of oil sales volume that Khun Nopasan have mentioned before. And come back to the non-oil gross profit margin for fiscal year period of 2023, we end at 2,742 million baht, increasing by 23.4% year over year. And you will see on the right-hand side that we have the gross profit contribution increased from the last year to 21.2%. And at this point, we hit the target of the gross profit contribution of fiscal year 2023 of 20 to 25%. And for the 2027 non-oil touch points, we have comprising to Thai coffee shop of 882 branches, for LPG touch point of 573 touch points, and in convenience store Max Mart of 345 stores, the Coffee World of 28 branches, car repair and maintenance service centers, auto bags of 68 service center, and Magneton loop change of 56 location, Max Camp 86 rest area, and 49 stations of EV charging station. LPG overview. Let's start with Thailand LPG consumption in fourth quarter of 2023. You will see the overall consumption of LPG through all channels still comparable to the same period of last year, and with an increase of 2.3% Q over Q. For the reason of this change, from the economy. This in line with Thai economies. And for the household LPG, there is an increasing by 0.2% year over year and 2.3% Q over Q. For an auto LPG, there is an increasing of 0.4% year over year and 3.4% Q over Q. And industrial LPG, there is a decrease of 1.7% year over year, but increased by 1% Q over Q. It is clearly that the household LPG consumption still holds a large amount of all LPG consumption at 59.2%, which increased from the same period of the previous year at 59.1%. And in terms of LPG consumption for full year period of 2023, it is comparable to the last year, which from the offset between the increasing of auto LPG and industrial LPG by 1.5% year over year and 0.3% Q over Q, deducted with a decrease of household LPG consumption by 0.6% year over year. In terms of the company sales volume, we have an ongoing new record of LPG sale volume of 168 million liters, rose by 20.9% year over year and 4% Q over Q. This mainly from the auto LPG, which reached 117 million liters, grew by 14.4% year over year and 4.7% Q over Q. The growth of auto LPG was from three factors. Firstly is from the economic recovery. Secondly is from the implementation of taxi transform and auto transform project of our company. And the last factor was from the repetitive customer of PT McCart and PT McCart Part members. Besides that, we also drive the household and industrial LPG to grow by 39.3% year over year and 2.4% Q over Q to 51 million liters, as can be seen from the pie chart on the top right-hand side that there is an increase of household contribution 30.2% in the fourth quarter of 2023, which increasing from the same period of the previous year at 26.2%. For the accumulation full year 2023, we have LPG sales volume of 634 million liters, which increasing by 27.7% year over year. The result of the growth, the company still retained the first rank in terms of market share through other channel at 28.1% in the fourth quarter of 2023, which increased from the previous quarter at 27.8%. And in terms of market share through our channel at 8.9% in fourth quarter of 2023, which increased from 8.7% in the previous quarter. For LPG touch point at the end of this year, at the end of 2023, we have 523 touch point, which divided to auto LPG at 241 touch stations, increasing by 10 stations, and for gas shop touch point at 332 touch points. On the right, you will see that we have LPG touch point mostly on Bangkok and the province city nearby Bangkok by 29%. Apart from LPG, in this slide, I will show you a Pan-Thai business overview. At the end of the year, we have a total of 882 Pan-Thai coffee shops with an increasing of 72.6% year over year and 16.7% Q over Q. In terms of revenue, in fourth quarter of 2023, there are 361 million baht and increasing by 64.1% year-over-year and 12.1% Q-over-Q. For the growth, the largely reason for this growth was due to the continued expansion of touch point by over one branch per day, and together with the growth of same-store sales from the repetitive customer of PT MaxCard and PT MaxCard Plus members. And this reason also leads the accumulation revenue in 2023 to 1,241 million baht, increasing by 54.1% year-over-year. In terms of gross profit margins, also increased in this quarter to 186 million baht, increasing by 9% Q-over-Q and 34.9% year-over-year. And for the accumulation for fiscal year 2023, Thai has accumulation gross profit margin in at 670 million baht, grew by 42.6% year-over-year. From Thai, let's take a look at the convenience store business MaxMart overview. Its revenue has in fourth quarter of 2023 stood at 572 million baht, increasing by 19.1% Q-over-Q and 30.8% year-over-year, which in line with the higher of oil sales volume through station channel that Kunapasan mentioned before. Plus, the growth also derived from the continuous store expansion by 3.3% Q-over-Q and 11.7% year-over-year. From aforementioned factors, the accumulation revenue in the fiscal year of 2023 also increased by 39.8% year-over-year to 2,024 million baht, and also drive the gross profit margin in fourth quarter of 2023 to 100 million baht, grew by 13.1% Q-over-Q and 30.1% year-over-year. And for accumulation full year period of 2023, MaxMart has the gross profit margin at 361 million baht, increasing by 41% year-over-year. To car repair and maintenance service center Autobags. In fourth quarter of 2023, Autobags has the revenue grew by 54.3% year-over-year and 15.1% Q-over-Q to 177 million baht. This significant growth mostly from the expansion of its service center by 51.1% year-over-year and 15% Q-over-Q to 68 service centers, together with the effective campaign and the repetitive customer of PT MaxCard members. And for the accumulation revenue for full year of 2023 also grew by 57.7% year-over-year to 570 million baht. In part of gross profit margin also grew to 41 million baht and increasing by 15.9% Q-over-Q and 60.1% year-over-year. And for the accumulation gross profit margin in 2023, grew by 59.4% year-over-year. And this is all for the main non-oil business of our company. Next, let's see the briefly target summary of this year. I will start at the touch point for oil station expansion. At the end of this year, we have 2,201 stations, and for the non-oil touch point, we have 2,087 touch points respect. And for non-oil touch point can be divided into LPG at 543 touch point. For Thai coffee shop, we have 882 branches, which increased by 400 stores. And for the other non-oil touch point, we end at 632 touch point. At the right-hand side, you will see the performance of 2023 performance. Start at the oil sales volume, which hit the target at 12.1%. And for LPG sales volume growth, it's slightly below the lower bound at 27%. Growth, it's a little bit lower than the lower bound at 44.4%. For an oil gross profit contribution, we achieved the target at 21.2%. But in terms of EBITDA growth, we below the target at 1.3% year-over-year. This was according to a decrease in marketing margin per liter in the oil business, which compared to the previous year. This was a result from a negative impact of government policy during the year that Khun Nakason mentioned before. And in the slide, I will indicate the target outlook in 2024 for the network expansion. We expect total oil service station will be stood at 2,251 stations, increasing 50 stations from previous year. In this year, we will not expanding branches extensively, but we will instead emphasize quality and station renovation to increase same-store sales. For non-oil touch point, we expect to expand to 3,031 touch points, which increase 944 touch points, divided to LPG at 573 touch points, and to the Thai business at 1,282 touch points. And for other non-oil touch point, we expect to expand to 961 touch points. The largely amount that we plan to expand for non-oil touch point will be EV charging station, which expect to expand by over 200 touch points. And for the performance of 2024 on the right-hand side, we expect the oil sales volume growth of 10 to 12% from the same-store sales that I have mentioned before from the expansion. In 2024, for LPG sales volume growth will be at the level of 30 to 40%, and non-oil sales growth will be at 40 to 50% year-over-year. We plan that the increasing in non-oil gross profit contribution outlook will be 25 to 30%, and for EBITDA growth, we still foresee at 8 to 12 year-over-year. Besides that, we have expected to invest in our business at 1,000 to 1,500 million baht, for LPG business at 800 to 1,000 million baht, Thai business at 500 to 1,000 million baht, and for other non-oil business at 500 to 1,000 million baht. This mentioned CapEx mostly invest for touchpoint expansion, and we expect to invest in new business by 1,000 to 1,500 million baht, and totally will be at 4 to 5,000 million baht for the CapEx of fiscal year 2024. On the last agenda of ESG development, the company has recognized the importance of branding business through rebalancing indicators of ESG responsibility. Let's start with the environment side. At the end of the 2023, we have installed 49 EV charging stations and doing 100% of proper waste and hazard disposal. Moreover, have attended to low emission support project, which reducing greenhouse gas emission by 19.4 tons carbon dioxide equivalent, and and organized CSR project by planting 3.8 thousand trees. In terms of renewable energy, we have solar rooftop installment on 37 PT service stations to reduce greenhouse gas emission by 670 tons carbon dioxide equivalent per annum and reduce electricity fee of the company by 15% or 7.5 million baht from last year. Plus, we have run waste management business with reducing municipal solid waste by 3.5 thousand tons and reduce over 7.8 thousand tons carbon dioxide equivalent. And this business also reduce accumulation community waste, which promote quality of local life. Next, in part of social, PTG received Human Rights Award in second consecutive year and also have an employment engagement score of 79% and a community satisfaction score of 96.6%. We also promote local materials and generate income for local farmers through the purchase of agriculture products totaling at 18.9 million baht. The company has provided employment opportunity for disability amounting to 22.3 million baht and for elderly at 12.5 million baht. In addition, we continue to organize the CSR project, namely PT Voluntary Camp, which engage for 3 communities to promote the quality of people's life, and we have distributed 1,600 eyeglasses to the elderly in the community. For economic and government part, PTG also received the Innovation Award for Product and Service Design from NIA through Max Enterprise Connect, the logistics platform solution for all entrepreneurs in all sizes. We have collaborated with 7 startups and initiate the internal project, which reducing costs by 61.3 million baht from the working process improvement. And we also have the satisfaction score from entrepreneur and retail customer of 82.24% and 93.1% respectively. And we have excellent performance from AGM checklist score of 100.
This session has come to the end. Thank you very much, investor and corporate, for joining the conference. If you do need further details, please feel free to drop us an email. ขอบคุณครับ